What's up, guys? I hope you've been enjoying my 2020 Christmas special. Now, this is the third part and final part of this series. We've done lamb, we've done salmon, and today we're doing a classic roast beef with Yorkshire pudding. Since many of you have picked up cooking so well over this year, I'm sure all these recipes are a breeze for you guys, and this year's Christmas is just going to be special. Now, let's begin. First off, for all roasting, baking recipes, always remember, preheat your oven. Contrary from what a lot of people set their ovens to 180 degrees, this time around, I am going to do a reverse sear. But before we put the beef in, I'm going to insert and season our beef. Salt, sides as well, over on the back. Next up, black pepper. Okay, turn it about. I'm going to be adding a nice salt and rosemary crust on the top later on, so I'm not over seasoning right from the start because I don't want it to be too salty at the end. Now we've got our salt, we've got our pepper in, and I'm just going to make a couple of insertions, and this is where I'm going to be slotting in a couple of cloves of garlic. So what they will do is, as the beef is cooking away, this garlic will distribute its flavors into the meat. Olive oil. Now this is going in at 120 degrees until we achieve an internal temperature of 50 degrees Celsius. All right, now I'm using a Lebenstiel Collection 80-liter electric built-in oven. So it's huge. It has 6 different layers, so you can do multi-cooking if you're doing everything on the same temperature. And also it has 15 different cooking functions to cater to your baking, roasting or grilling needs. Now we're going to prepare a slight crust to go on top of the beef. Some rosemary, so what we want is the leaves only. So this is going to perfume the crust. Now just chop it up. There we go. Rosemary in, coarse cracked black pepper, salt, and some garlic powder. Just want to mix it all up, and this is ready to go. Now, egg whites, and what we're going to do is we're going to whisk this egg white, make it nice, foamy, airy, and this will help our crust stick on the beef. Brilliant. Okay, now we're going to remove the beef. There we go. See, it's pale, it's not crusted. Now I'm going to bring up the oven to 250 degrees. So the internal temperature of the beef is about 125 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about maybe 48 degrees Celsius. So it is quite rare, but not to worry. We're going to put on this crust and we're going to shove it back in the oven, and that will increase the temperature internally as well. All right, so now we're going to add this egg whites on the top of this beef. Sprinkle this crust all over. Now we're going to shove it back into the oven. So this is what we call a reverse sear. You start low, you finish high. So now we have all these wonderful juices from the beef. Here I have a jug of beef stock, and I'm just going to combine this together. Beautiful. All right, now the beef is done. Whoa, look at that. Voila. This is super crusty on the top, and that's fantastic, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to have it rest for a bit. Aluminium foil, and we're just going to sort of tent this and leave it aside for a good 15 minutes at least. Right, now we're going to prepare our muffin tray for the Yorkshire pudding. So what we need to do is we need to oil this muffin trays. Okay, so just a little bit of oil, using a brush, just brush around. Chuck this into the oven. Now I've set the temperature to 220 degrees Celsius, okay? So it's gonna heat up the muffin tray nice and hot. So while that's happening, we're gonna get the batter ready. We have here some milk, and to this, we're gonna add 4 eggs. Whisk it all up together. This is going to give you this nice light batter, and we're going to season it with some salt. Now, our muffin tray is hot enough. We're going to remove it from the oven. There we go. Want to make sure the oil inside the muffin tray is also hot enough, and we're just going to ladle this nice batter in. You don't want to pour it all the way to the top because the egg batter is going to rise. There we go, and we're shoving this back into the oven. All right, so now we're going to start with a nice gravy. Turn on the pan, flour. I'm going to add in some butter. And first off, what we're going to be making is called a roux. Roux is basically flour and butter, or flour and fat, that's being cooked over, yeah? And that will be the thickening agent. And now we're adding in the beef stock. Once you've got your beef stock in, I'm going in with a whisk so that we avoid any lumps. All right, so we're bringing this up to a boil. Once it's boiling, reduce the flame so we take it down to a nice simmer as it reduces down. All right, our Yorkshire pudding is done. Okay. There we go. Nice. Crispy on the outside, nice and fluffy on the inside. Now we're just going to remove these Yorkshire puddings because we don't want them to dry up inside a hot muffin tray. There we go. Yorkshire pudding on the side. Remove the foil from the beef and transfer this onto a board. Now, all these wonderful juices from the beef, yeah, we're pouring this into the gravy because it's full of flavor. Now, we are ready to plate. Look at that. The juice is just oozing out of this beef. Trust me, it doesn't get any better than this. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Just place this nice, beautiful Yorkshire puddings on the side. All right, now the gravy, I'm just gonna add in a bit of salt, a bit of black pepper, give it a nice stir, and this gravy is done. Pouring into a nice copper pot. All right, so there you have it. This is roast beef with Yorkshire pudding. If you like this recipe, don't forget to go watch part 1 and part 2. All right, and if you like all of them, simple. Share it with your friends, get your friends to cook it, so on Christmas Day, you get to enjoy everything together. Now, I hope you've enjoyed my 2020 Christmas special. Stay tuned for 2021 because it's going to be an awesome year. All right, Merry Christmas. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell, da 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 da.